And there was a further boost when Perez gave the club and its fans a very special centenary present. In the summer of 2001, the world record transfer fee was once again broken as Real Madrid's latest signing was unveiled. Zinedine Zidane.
It's difficult for anyone who joins Madrid. Zidane had the same thing. He was under a lot of pressure. He had to ask himself questions. He had to replicate the way he'd played at Juventus, but this time at Madrid. Whatever you'd achieved in the past doesn't count. You had to do it again at Real Madrid.
The president's dream of allying Galacticos to homegrown talent was taking shape, though not everything ran smoothly. Zidane struggled with injuries and with his form, and an inconsistent team could finish only third in the league. But again, the club excelled in Europe. In the quarter-finals against Bayern, Real were behind 2-1 after the first leg, but rallied at the Bernabeu. Goals from Elguera and Guti were decisive. The semi-final draw was dramatic. Real were pitched against their fiercest rivals, Barcelona. If Madrid were to finish their centenary season in glory, they would have to do it the hard way.
Well, every Champions League match is special because you're trying to become the best team in Europe. But to be thrown into this battle, to have the chance of getting to a final against such a huge club in our country, and then add to that the rivalry between Barcelona and Real Madrid in the context of a Champions League semi-final, well, you need a lot of guts to handle the pressure in a match like that.
We won 2-0, and that gave us that little bit of breathing space in the Champions League, you know, because we had them in the semi-final of the Champions League, so to take them back to our place with a 2-0 lead was, you know, the tie was effectively won then.
At the Nou Camp, Zidane showed his class and repaid at least some of his fee in opening the scoring. Steve McManaman added a second.
It was the first time we'd won there in a long, long time, and I didn't realise, as much as I was very happy that we won the first leg 2-0, in the dressing room afterwards, the Spanish players, the Spanish Madrid players in particular, were going crazy, you know, with happiness.
Hampden Park, Glasgow, a fitting venue, the scene of Real Madrid's greatest match, the historic...
And we enjoyed it a lot. Real Madrid have won it 9 times, and I believe it's the club's favourite competition.
It's true to say that we concentrated on that competition, and that it is the hardest to win in terms of the level of football. And we were there to win it, and it's true that it was a great game up in Glasgow.
C'est vrai que ça a été une joie exceptionnelle à Glasgow.
It had been a really difficult final to get to, and of course we were desperate to win it. But Leverkusen made us sweat. It was a really hard game, and they had lots of chances.
We went ahead, they equalised, and then came the...
And everyone remembers this goal, because without doubt, it's the best goal ever scored in the Champions League. And with it...
Let me tell you, the day before, he had practiced this kind of move in training, with his left foot and his right foot. And then it happened in the European Cup final, and it seemed as though everything was destined to happen that way, that we would be in the final, Zidane would score, and we would win.
It was a privilege to be part of this team in that stadium, to be involved with a goal that I think is the best ever in Champions League finals, and the fact that it goes on to give you victory. Well, it's the goal of the Champions League.
It was just magnificent, and to be there as his teammates when he scored that goal, it was special. I think that any football lover, not just Madrid fans, enjoyed that goal.
At the end of the match, we suffered a lot because of the 7 minutes that the referee added on. It seemed like an eternity, but also we showed courage to defend. And obviously the performance of Iker was singled out at the end of the match, but the whole team performed well.
Won the club a 9th European Cup.
It was great. There are no words to describe it. The whole city gets behind you. I've won trophies with teams like Chelsea and in France. But with Real Madrid, it's something else. It really is the club in world football.
The next season, the Brazilian Ronaldo was signed following his brilliant goal-scoring performances at the 2002 World Cup. He added a further attacking option in a team already brimming with talent. Del Bosque presided over another league title, but then style began to be valued over substance.
This team was really well set up, both from a footballing point of view and on the human side as well. We all respected each other. Del Bosque was our manager, Hierro our captain.
In my humble opinion, we would have carried on winning things, titles.
First and foremost, they sacked Vicente Del Bosque, they sacked the manager, and then decided to get rid of Fernando Hierro, the captain. That was a huge blow.
The club hierarchy, they wanted to portray a different image of the club and move it into another direction, more media-friendly, more about image. But that, of course, it has to be done with players who can win, that portray the right image of the club. And they forgot about that.
We have to understand that someone has to take responsibility. And also, as a manager friend of mine said to me, from time to time you have to freshen things up so that the project doesn't get stale.
I left, Hierro stopped being captain, Del Bosque left. That was a big shock for the group, emotional even. And that was reflected in the results. And that's why they didn't win anything for 4 years. Because key players who were important had left, both on the field and in the dressing room.
We'd won the European Cup without the so-called Galacticos, if you know what I mean. But also, you know, we had Galacticos in the team. We had the Roberto Carlos in the team, and Raul were in the team. So, you know, for the first couple of years, they were not Galacticos, and then as soon as the new president came over, he decided to coin this phrase.
The record books state that Real Madrid won 3 European Cups and 3 league titles in 7 years, returning the club to the forefront of world football. David Beckham became the latest Galactico, but to many it seemed that commercial aspirations had overtaken football ambitions. There were departures of important players. The squad was left unbalanced, and when Del Bosque had gone, Real Madrid struggled. Whether or not the Galacticos experiment worked remains the subject of much debate. Assembled one of football's most impressive teams.